Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Behind the Groove podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington. And we checked out a flick that was on HBO. It's also on Amazon at the same time. I don't like, actually, it's on Amazon if you have an HBO subscription on Amazon, but it's really an HBO flick. It's an HBO movie. The movie we're talking about is Greenland. It's with Gerard Butler and also, what's her name? Marina Bakari.
Yeah.
That was the woman who played the wife.
Yeah, she was in
she was Homeland.
Firefly.
She was in Homeland too. That's how I got introduced to her. You know, she's Brazilian, pretty cool actress, and I have some other big names too. Scott Glenn, who's I like Scott Glenn. I just like what he does, But obviously Gerard Butler of the 300 fame. You gotta love all that sort of stuff. But just off the top, what did you think about Greenland?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. Now, I can't say if it was because I watched the other movie first and it was such a palate cleanser.
We're talking about cosmic sin and whatnot,
Yeah. So I can't say for certain if it was just some random Tuesday and I put this movie on, right. I'll feel the same way. But I'll say this. After I watched it, I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Kudos to the director. I like the family dynamic. The husband and wife had issues, but the wife wasn't annoying and the husband wasn't a bitch. Yeah. They were really good. It was a quality dynamic there. The writing was good. It was kind of realistic about how people would act at the end of the world, because I saw half of this stuff happen last year. So right. I can say firsthand, it's very realistic. This is very realistic.
Dude, I thought this was an awesome movie. I mean, the realism of it, the storyline, the way the movie moved. I mean, there wasn't any sort of holes. I watched this movie from start to end. I didn't even get up and, refresh my drink or anything like that. This was a great movie. I was super impressed with this movie, and it was really refreshing to see something made on a, sort of service like HBO that's really great. HBO make great flicks anyway, films. But this was a really good film. I think
it was supposed to come out in the theaters, and they're just like HBO.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it was supposed to come out last year.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think it was supposed to come. The budget is solid. Special effects is really good. They did not skimp. So that's why I think it was supposed to come out in theaters, and they're just like, screw it. Ironically enough, Gerard Butler has done a movie like this about it.
Really?
Well, no, he had a movie about some kind of weird environmental stuff. It's like Geo something. I forgot what it's called. Something with Geo in it.
Oh, Geostorm?
Yes. So he had an end of the world type.
That's on my list, believe it or not. That's on Amazon.
Do not watch that movie. It's terrible. It's really bad.
Well, you know what? I started watching it, and 20 minutes in, I was like, I can't watch this, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's a terrible movie. It's
I can't
really
watch
bad.
this.
But getting away from that terrible movie, this movie was really good.
Solid, and dude.
You got
all the way around.
I got the impression that they spent time and tthinking about how the asteroids were hit. Or how this kind of stuff would affect the environment. Yeah. They thought I see things though. I don't know if they could make a sequel to this, but I would like to see more of this world. What happens after they get out of the bunkers?
The realism of this movie was awesome. Because people are predicting that an asteroid or something like that could potentially hit this.
Bunch of buzz-bys of really big asteroids that would cause a problem.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of them swing by over already.
Yeah.
So
it was some realism
not
to this.
far-fetched. Yeah, it's not far-fetched at all.
Give us so that's true. And that's why I was saying, I think that the realism of this movie made it really excellent, and the acting was on point. Everything was on point, man. I was very surprised about this movie because, we watch a boatload of movies. We watch films, TV series, and, sometimes we have to watch garbage like Cosmic Sin. And, but this one here was quite refreshing. And even though it was almost a 2-hour film, but it's worth it.
It didn't feel, because, like when you watch long movies, it feels like, oh, this is long, this is dragging.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't feel like that at all. Like
not at all.
I was on the edge of my seat. Once the stuff happened, when she started hitting, I think when the family is doing the birthday party and they got the aftermath of that thing that hit Tampa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Once that happened, I was like, oh, they're really going there. Okay, all right. This is what they're going to see here. Mm-hmm. All right.
Why didn't you showed what's up?
Oh, go ahead.
No, you were going to say they showed what?
Yeah, I'm saying like they showed the destruction of Tampa.
Yeah,
and it was really graphic. I was like,
it was
okay. This is the kind of movie we're watching right now.
That was oh my goodness, that was crazy. It was, and again, like I said, the realism, how Tampa was destroyed. Just the shock waves and everything else. This movie, there was a lot of realism to this movie. I was going to say, give a brief overview of this movie really quickly.
So basically, Gerard Butler's character, he's an architect, and he's estranged from his wife because he cheated on her. You have to get this out there because it's important. But so he's going to go visit his son, and there's a lot of news reports about this giant comet that's coming.
Yeah.
And initially, the news reports are telling everybody, oh, it's just going to buzz by. You can see it from the atmosphere. It's going to be pretty. And then they're like, oh, wait, no, it's going to hit us. And so they select a bunch of families that they're going to put in this ark type thing in Greenland. And he goes through hell and high water to get to Greenland. I'll put it like that.
Right.
This family goes through a lot just to get there. And they gotta travel across the country. That scenes with their dad, oh, that was heart-wrenching, man. It was really sad.
Yeah.
And it was an overall good movie. I liked it a lot.
Oh, it was definitely a good movie. There are a lot of movies that are sort of have that sort of ending where the world is going to be destroyed. We have to select people who aren't sick and also people who have a skill set that we're going to need to rebuild, Earth or whatever, So he was one of those, but obviously he could not, he got into this military installation to actually get on these military planes and, go into this underground bunker, in Greenland. But they found out that his son was diabetic, and that like, nope, sort of started the whole thing. But, the other cool thing about it is how he got the notice. He didn't work for the federal government, right? He was an architect at a firm. Yeah. But it just goes to show you, like, the government has every single bit of information they need to get in contact with
tabs on people.
You say, okay, I'm going to talk about movie making 101. You speak about this a lot. That was excellent. The movie making 101 with this film was excellent. Build up the character, show the family
dynamic
drama.
Family.
Dude, and it wasn't boring. Yes.
No, but when the beginning of this movie, I like Gerard because of 300 and some other stuff he's done. He did the movie about London is falling or something like that.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. Just the whole shock movie. Olympus is falling, right? Whole shock. Yeah, that was dope too.
Yeah, so like I like him. I like him as an actor, like just in general. But like, I got into like the whole family dynamic, and the writing is solid. Like they didn't try and make like him to be like some loser or some whatever. Like they make him unlikable. And they didn't make the wife unlikable. Everybody was like, you're rooting for them. Even when they're in their neighborhood and they got turned the other families away, I'm like, yo, I'm rooting for this family to make it to the bunker. Like, I hope they make it.
Right.
Like, normally I watch movies like that and they're like, I don't care. Like, whatever. Like, I was rooting for them to make it to the bunker. I was happy that they got there. Spoilers. But
this is man, this is behind the groove. We do spoilers. Yeah, that was like really cool dynamics right there. Like, again, the realism with that. It's just like, you got the call from Homeland Security. You, your wife, and your son come here. You're about to be taken. Do not bring anyone else with you, because even if you do, they will be turned away. And the realism of the woman, his neighbors, like, just take my daughter, just take my daughter. And you got to go watch this film. It's on HBO. It is really dope. The writing is awesome, the storyline. And then here's another part of the movie that I thought was also real. Mm-hmm. When they got separated, right? Allie, John, you know, and the son. And so she was trying to get to Kentucky to her father's house, right? Mm-hmm. And so they hitched the ride with this like couple. And then the couple was like, hey, we're trying to get to this one area so we can hop on this plane to go to Greenland. And they thought that they could actually, you know, take this woman's, they had badges, you know, like, you know, these wristbands, you know, to say that. Right. So she had one on because she tried to get on previously, but then they found out that her, you know, son had, you know, was diabetic, so they couldn't get on, but they still had these wristbands on. And that was the other thing about this, you know, the wristband created like drama, you know, throughout the entire sort of movie. So anyway, this couple was trying to, you know, say, hey, you know what, we can do this if we're going to like take the woman's wristband, Allie, and then kidnap the son. Right?
Yo, people get desperate when it's really real.
Dude, that was so real, right? I mean, and
get desperate.
Desperate times, it's just like, listen, we don't care about you. We care about our own lives. Mm-hmm. They brought it all together in the end. We could talk about that, but you know, that was also some real. And then the other realism. What's up?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying that was bothering me though, that they're just casually walking around with the bracelets. Like, yo, you know how important these things are, and people know about them.
Why would have taken it off? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or I would have just slid it way up my sleeve and rolled my sleeves down and not said nothing. Because the second people saw it, they're added, like, same with the father. The second they saw it, their attitude changed. He was chilling. He could have easily made it up to Kentucky, no problem. The second they saw the wristband, problems. So
that was when he was in the back of the truck, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, people get really comfortable and they let their guard down, and you can't do that. I just in general, I think that you can't let your guard down. So whenever I see, like, I've been mugged in New York before, and ever since that day, I have peripheral vision like I'm a basketball player. I see everything on all sides of the court. All right, I see everything. It'll never happen to me again because of that. I'm paying attention. I know people 5 steps in front of me. I know who's wearing what. If I can identify them later on, like, that's what I'm thinking about stuff. And just that alone makes me more hyper aware of my surroundings. And a lot of times in movies, and just in general in life, people are not paying attention. Drives me crazy.
Listen, man. the scene that the other scene where he had hitched the ride now, you know, in this truck with a bunch of people, and they were trying to get to a part of Canada because there were military planes there and they were just letting anyone on to go to Greenland. Dude, once they found out that he had the bracelet on, the wristband,
fight.
They killed the black guy whose mother was a doctor, and she was able to, you know, get on a plane because she was a doctor. But then they started fighting, and they had a hammer and everything. The truck crashed, you know, they all fell off the truck. And dude, he like put a hammer in this dude's head. They never, ever spoke about that. But that's okay because there's more pressing things that needs to happen.
Like, realistically, I think that he'll probably break down when he's in the bunker.
Yeah.
But like right now, there's more important things to worry about.
Right, exactly.
You don't have time for that. And you know, it kind of shows that, like, he's not an evil person, but he's like, look, I'm trying to save my family. It's the end of the world. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And you know, it wasn't even like I didn't look at that scene and be like, oh, it's terrible or whatever. I was just like,
neither did I.
That's the cost of doing business, man. Like,
in this time where the world is about to be destroyed, you know,
people's stuff that they're willing to do when, like, you know, when shit hits the fan, is really, really comes down to it.
Yeah.
I think that people, you don't realize what you're capable of doing when you have to.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, that's true, man.
You don't really know what you're capable of doing. Like the family went through hell and high water to get up to Canada in the first place, to make it to Greenland. And like they went through a lot. Like you just, you don't appreciate what you're capable of doing until you're put in that situation.
Yeah.
And I thought it was compelling. Like just the overall,
I did too.
Everything that happened, I thought it was compelling, man.
It's a great movie. They obviously got separated and then ended up meeting at the same spot, like up in Canada, to get onto this plane.
They met the dad's house first.
Right. After they were able to drive up, and everything to Canada in a pickup truck and everything. That did not seem corny to me and out of place because she had an ordeal trying to find her husband and he had an ordeal trying to find his wife and son. Yeah. So again, it all made sense. The writing was excellent in this, man. I'm telling you.
It's really good.
This is so refreshing because, it's just so much like just ridiculously dumb stuff out there. Just a bunch of dumb stuff.
Out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trash.
It is a lot of trash out there, man. So they get to they get to Canada. They're able to take this plane to Greenland, which is why, the title of the movie. They get into this underground bunker. The asteroid or comet, whatever it hits, basically destroys the Earth.
It F's up Earth.
Yeah. They are underground in this bunker for what, 7 months before they emerge?
Yeah, something like that. Now, I got so many questions about what happens next because soil's ruined. Most of the animals are dead, if not all. Yeah. I think that you probably have some fish. You could probably eat fish. Yeah. I think maybe fish would be okay.
There were some birds, like when they emerged from being underground for 7 months, there were some birds,
Yeah, but I think that like the whole topical thing of Earth is going to be reshaped.
Yeah.
So, they had tsunamis. They said the tsunamis are like 100 feet high or whatever.
Yeah, wow.
So that's gonna move around a lot of stuff. So maybe there's soil that's underwater that you can use it now.
Yeah.
You didn't have access to before. The Earth is good. You're gonna need a new map, first of all.
Yeah.
So and two, they have the
Google Maps. We need you.
They have the seeds there's a bunker for seeds in Iceland.
Yeah, that's true.
They saved all the seeds up there. So like you can rebuild.
Yeah.
Iceland's right next to Greenland. You could probably save some stuff, rebuild, but it's gonna be like another 100 years or whatever before you get back to normal.
Now, that's true. Now, one of the other cool things about this movie was when they emerged from the bunker after 7 months, I guess they started trying to see if there were anyone else in the world that was still out there. And
so they had all the bunkers around the world.
Right. And then people started like chiming in, and I was like, and like, hey, this is Helsinki, Moscow, India, whatever. And it's just like, so that was really compelling to me because first of all, it meant that these warring countries, just countries who may not necessarily like each other, like the United States and Russia, right? They were like, hey, this is coming. Let's build these bunkers, right? And then all these other countries. So that was like a world sort of effort to try to save as much of the population as they can. And these countries came together to do that. And now these countries have to rebuild the entire Earth.
I'm very curious about like how many humans are left after this.
Do you think that, and you said this earlier, do we need a follow-up?
I don't think you need a sequel, but I wouldn't be mad if there was one.
It better be solid though, dude.
Yeah, I know it is to be really good, but like I'm very interested to see what happens next because of this.
Yeah.
So like how does the rebuilding look like? What is do we go back to huts? Because we have they've saved scientists and technical people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, you could rebuild cars if you wanted to.
True.
You could rebuild, buildings and that kind of stuff. You saved those kind of people. I'm fairly certain they did that around the world too. So, you have scientists. What does the Earth look like with all the smart scientists, doctor people that you saved?
Yeah.
Do we go straight back to shenanigans right now, or does it take a couple generations to get back there? Or is this like Expanse and we go to Mars, and we're the Martians now because we only have scientists, and doctors and engineers.
This is an HBO flick, right? A film, right? HBO could have easily made this into a very compelling series if they wanted to, right? Because like you said, that's very interesting what you just said. Like, okay, now that they have to rebuild, are we, doing the Expanse, something like the Expanse where you're rebuilding, everything is gone, like microchips, just all like, rare earth, everything, right? Everything is gone. So you have to rebuild from scratch. So that would be sort of compelling, but
I would watch it.
I would watch it. I would too, man. Yeah. This is Greenland from, you can see it on HBO. This movie, this film I really enjoyed this film. This film has been probably during the pandemic anyway, in terms of a film, not a series. This is probably like one of the best films I've seen during the pandemic all day.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's rate Greenland from HBO, on HBO. What are you rating this film?
I give it an 8.5. It's a solid movie.
Solid movie, man. You know what? I am going to give Greenland 8.5 as well, because again, it's a solid film. It's so easy for these streaming companies to create films, throw them up. They're getting their $9.99 a month and just like give us trash all the time. This was a really great film. It would have done well in the movies, because you said you thought this could have been like, or it was supposed to be in the movies, in the theaters.
Yeah, I think word of mouth would have been good for this movie.
Yeah, this is this is a great movie. Great actors, like the writing. Gerard Butler was a producer on this film too. Great movie all the way around. You got to see this movie, Greenland, on HBO. Check it out. It is one of the best movies I've seen during the pandemic, or the lockdown, or whatever you want to call it. And great film. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I'm DJ Keo. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
And until next time, peace.
All right.